2024 has started, and we are going to get into the most exciting time for Bitcoin this year. Don't miss out my Bitcoin ETF updates. Don't miss out the updates that I give regarding how institutions are navigating to try and get as much capital as possible into their funds. I don't want you to miss out on any of that, so you understand how not to get taken advantage of the institutions and their marketing and everything else, and you understand what's really going on. And if you can monitor the credit cycles, you know when to refi, you know when to put capital to work, you know when to take capital off the table, etc., you can sort of work out what's going to happen to asset prices. And of course, that means that, right now we've had one of the longest bear markets outside of a recession, technical recession, ever. And, the cycle's now turning and everything's changing. And it's why I've made I've taken this bear market to make the allocations that I've made. And generated liquidity in certain places and placed certain positions to take advantage of the shift in the credit cycles, right? And we're not going to stop just because it's 2024 and the ETF is around the corner. Here's what I think happens in 2024. A lot of my Bitcoin ETF predictions from last year were absolutely correct. Anyway, 2024 predictions. Number one, the spot Bitcoin ETF will start trading in Q1. I think we will have an active US spot-based Bitcoin ETF start trading in Q1 of this year, right? Prediction number two, I believe that Bitcoin will exceed $100,000 by the end of 2024 if that spot Bitcoin ETF starts trading in Q1. Prediction number three, I think that there will be a Federal Reserve rate cut in the US by Q2. The economy is at a point where it cannot handle what the Fed has done here. And again, for those that are paying attention, this might not sound too crazy to you, but for everyone else, this is going to sound nuts. And so that's prediction number three. Prediction number four, I believe the Fed balance sheet will resume the expansion path, and I think that will scare a lot of people because they think the world is going to end, etc., and I don't think that's going to happen. Prediction number five, the U.S. 2-year rate will fall below 2.5% this year, and it will guide the Federal Reserve rate down to that sort of level too. Prediction number six, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ will have 15% plus up years for 2024, year to date. They will hit at least 15% up over the year. This one's going to get slightly controversial for those people because I don't really like talking about my political thoughts and this, that, and the other, but I do have political, opinions on what's going to happen. And the U.S. election is this year, and I think it's going to be an interesting one. All of the candidates that started off looking like the quote-unquote fringe candidates have turned out to be exactly that. I wasn't a fan of any of the fringe candidates in the United States, and of course all of their numbers are collapsing at this point. So prediction number seven is this: if President Trump is not the nominee for the Republicans, or Gavin Newsom is the Democrat nominee, I predict a Democrat win for the U.S. presidential election. That is going to shock a lot of people, but in recent times, a Democrat president has not lost, a second-term election. So I think that is going to be quite a controversial one for a lot of you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Number eight, I think the DXY, the dollar index, will fall below 93. And I think that's extremely important for the economy and the investment markets and everything we're going to be facing. Couple more predictions here than last year, right? So prediction number 9, out of gold, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and Bitcoin, real estate will be the worst performing asset of 2024, and I will measure that as a result of the price appreciation on VNQ, which is the real estate ETF. There will of course be certain real estate that is going to outperform everything, like beachfront property, etc., but on the whole, using VNQ as the benchmark, I think that real estate will be the worst performing asset of 2024, and that's going to shock a lot of people, but I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And prediction number 10, the total inflow into all of the aggregate spot Bitcoin ETFs will exceed $25 billion in year one of trading. And I think that's an interesting one as well. I think that's also going to catch people off guard as well, because I think the Hunger Games, I actually had that at 15 billion, and I added another 10 billion once I saw with Fidelity coming in with a 0.39% fee. That happened a lot faster than I thought. So I added to that amount. So those are my 10 predictions as to what I think is going to happen for 2024. A lot of people are going to go, this is, a lot of this is obvious, but that's only obvious to you because you're actually in the space. For most people, they don't think an ETF is going to start trading. They don't think Bitcoin's going to exceed $100,000 in 2024. They don't think we're going to see rate cuts. In fact, doom and gloom boomers think that the rates are going to 15%. Right? I think we're going to see a rate cut by Q2. Just like last time I said there will be some form of easing that happens, I'm telling you right now there's going to be a rate cut by the end of Q2 here. I put a prediction out of, what the ETF fees would be between this cycle and the next cycle, and then Fidelity just came out and basically said, British Hodl, get fucked, and we're here to play, right? They came out swinging like I wasn't expecting them to swing. So I thought that we were going to see like 0.5% and higher for this cycle, and then it would drop down for the next cycle. Oh, no. And Fidelity must have seen my tweet and basically said, screw that, we're going to start swinging right now. You want to play in the 800-pound gorilla cage? You want to have a cage match against John Jones? Let's play. Let's see if you've got this. You see if you've got what it takes to play. And Fidelity has come in and basically said their expense ratio is going to be 0.39%. Just to tell you how much and how strategically they're thinking here. GLD, the gold ETF, is 0.4%. So they are undercutting gold to send a message. Whoever is doing the thinking around all of this, whichever team is doing the thinking at Fidelity regarding what numbers to pick here and how to announce this and all this other stuff, is amazing. So bravo to, hopefully some of the Fidelity people are watching, because you guys are doing an amazing job here. It's a big dick swinging competition, right? And in order to win the dick swinging competition, they've only got a few tools in their armory, and you bet your ass they're going to press the advantage of them, which is why it's important for you to know this now and get to 1 Bitcoin at this point. Please subscribe, because you have to help me spank the YouTube algorithm to get Bitcoin content out in front of people before this is too late. It is going to be too late at some point for some people. So please help me get this message out there so people understand exactly what is going on here. So they understand. Whoever's at Galaxy also understands what a blow Fidelity has just given everyone. Right? This is an extremely dangerous move for all of the other ETF providers. But this is what war is. This is how it's going to work. They don't have much to compete on. And Fidelity has basically said, take this 10-foot dick and hit it round your head. Right? So now what you're going to see is this war is going to heat up a lot faster than I thought. Galaxy has said there'll be 0 fee to own their Bitcoin ETF for the first 6 months. They're not. I can't find any information on what happens after that 6 months. But there will be 0 fee for the first 6 months. Right? And they're making a smart choice, because if they get a bunch of capital in there and the price of Bitcoin goes up, now I got a tax liability, so I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to hold on to that Invesco asset or the Galaxy fund, and I'm not going to bother selling it at that point. They're not playing around here. This is not, let's launch the product, let's innovate, let's see what happens, let's do this, let's do that. No. Fidelity's taking a swing here at everyone. And do you think BlackRock's going to sit there and not answer it? I reckon BlackRock's going to lower their fee to match Fidelity's at a minimum. That's what I think will happen by trading day. You're on the verge of missing the opportunity, because this next cycle, 3 months away, 4 months away from a halving, we are going to price out the We are going to price out the middle class. We're now heading into, low single-digit millionaires that are going to be priced out in this next cycle. And this is the first time since the 1930s that an asset is getting securitized, and the demand is going to go through the roof. And you're going to be sitting there wondering why you didn't get to your one Bitcoin when you had 2 years of the deepest bear market we've seen outside of 2008. Even while the economy's been good, the market's been going down, which is a huge advantage for those people who have an income, because the asset prices are coming down. You have an income to take advantage of the asset prices coming down without your income being affected, because your income is not linked to the stock market directly or to asset prices directly. People that are rich had to refinance or whatever, generate some liquidity at the right time to take advantage of the price decline in the assets. But if you're working and you have a business and you got cash flows and you still haven't done it, you're on the verge of missing the opportunity. So those are my overall predictions. Write them down, bookmark this video, subscribe to the channel, because you can hold me accountable to see what my predictions are and how they come true. But I think we will see $100,000 plus Bitcoin this year based on everything I said. You can go back and look at it. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think doom and gloom boomers are in for a massive surprise. I think the $1,000 net worthers are going to realize they don't know what they're talking about, so they're going to start talking about something else. I think the $10 a month DCA gang is going to get left behind, and I think the happy hippies are not going to know what the fuck is going on, because they don't generally know what the fuck is going on. They're too busy being high. But ultimately, despite all of that, there's still, even in 2024, only 3 rules to Bitcoin. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy.